Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield. You're listening to my weekly radio show called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking for your non-listening audience, how to deal with the media and when, and crisis communication. If you're a part of an association that has a national conference, I hope you'll add me to the lineup. You can find more about me at my website, debsofield.com. I've got a number of books on the market. You can go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. I'm also on Audible, and of course my books are available on Kindle. I've got a great show today. It's a theme that I really like, and I know you'll enjoy it too. Great stories of somebody we all love, but you got to stay tuned. So my theme today is Oh, to be remembered. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending this next half hour with me. Let's get started with today's show. I got to tell you, when I am thinking about what's going on in the world, and I think about people I absolutely admire, I come back to the legacy of Lucille Ball. So we lost her about 34 years ago, and although it really doesn't seem like that long, I can remember as a kid coming home from school and watching the I Love Lucy show and laughing along with the cheesy laugh tracks that I heard from the screen. Think about when you were homesick and you couldn't do a whole lot, but you could turn on the TV. Even now, you can still find some of her shows on the channels for reruns. I often use her life and how she lived it in one of my talks about leadership. If you know her story, it is an amazing tale of survival. To be able to have star power that she had for over 30 years in Hollywood, starting in the 1950s, takes what I like to call grit, the ability to keep going and stay motivated for the long haul. So today, I actually don't want to talk about her stardom. I want to talk about her and our ability to be remembered long after we're gone. I've spent the last month talking about our need to pursue and readily accept opportunity if it comes our way. And if it doesn't pass near us, well, frankly, you and I've got to reach out and grab hold of it anyway. Friend, I want you to understand that sometimes in life, we have to take on jobs and opportunities and adventures that we may not feel 100% ready for, but to go ahead and trust yourself enough to take the challenge. Because I have to say, I know you'll succeed. The simple adage is true. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Friends, I want you to reach for the mark, the high calling of what you were born to do. And I hope that you'll draw some inspiration from the life of Lucille Ball. Let me encourage you to pick up any of her autobiographies or go online and read the news articles about her life, which I'm going to have to say was not always glamorous, sometimes hurtful, and often downright silly. Yet through it all, I for one admire her attitude of always moving forward, rarely looking back, and learning to love herself when love seemed fleeting by Hollywood standards. You probably have a favorite show of Lucille Ball's that still makes you laugh. I love the clip of Lucille and Ethel in the chocolate factory. Listen, years later, it makes me laugh every time. And I have to admit, I love the Vitamita Vegemin clip. That still makes me laugh today, all these years later. Oh, to be remembered and leave a legacy. So that brings me to you, my friend. How do you want to be remembered? How do you want others to remember your life, your actions, your love, your, dare I say it, testimony about your life? I know I've spoken in many shows about your legacy and how you and I will be remembered. But I want you to reflect on it again today. For today may be the day you realize that one day you'll be gone, and all we will have to remember you by is what you left us. In one sense, that is a very sobering thought. That all we'll have to remember you by is by what you left us. So, in consideration of that thought, I've got a quick message of, friend, what will you do today to correct, enhance, or begin to build your remembrance? Oh, to be remembered. It's a wonderful challenge for all of us to reflect on today and probably every day. So, although the show is not that long, I do have a number of ideas that I believe will help you to be remembered. I want to start with one by one of my heroes, Jim Rohn, and he talks about how to leave a legacy. He's got 9 principles that he says are necessary for a successful life. So let me share those with you. Jim Rohn says, life is best lived in service to others. This doesn't mean we don't strive for the best of ourselves. It does mean that in all things, we serve other people, including our family, our coworkers, and our friends. Number 2, consider others' interests as important as your own. Much of the world suffers simply because people consider only their own interest. People are looking out for number 1. But friends, the best way to leave a legacy is to look out for others. Number 3, love your neighbor, even if you don't like them. It's interesting that Jesus told us to love others, but he never tells us to like them. Liking people has to do with emotions. Loving people has to do with actions. And what you'll find is that when you love them and do good by them, then you will, more often than not, begin to like them. I love his next point, maintain integrity at all cost. There are very few things you take to the grave with you, my friend. The number 1 thing you have is your reputation and your good name. When people remember you, what do you want them to think? I hope they say, she was the most honest person I knew. What integrity. There's always going to be temptations to cut corners and break your integrity. Oh, friend, don't do it. Do what is right all the time, no matter the cost. His next point, number 5, you must risk in order to gain. In just about every area of life, you and I must risk a bit in order to gain the reward. In love, you must risk rejection in order to ask that person out for the first time. In investing, you must place your capital at risk in the market in order to receive the prize of growing a bank account. When we risk, we gain. And when we gain, we have more to leave for others. Point number 6 is you reap what you sow. In fact, you always reap more than you sow. You plant a seed, you reap a bushel. What you give, you get. What you put into the ground and then grows out of the ground. If you give love, you will receive love. If you give time, you'll gain time. It is one of the truest laws of the universe. Today, decide what you want out of life and then begin to sow it in the lives of others. Number 7, hard work is never a waste. No one will ever say, it's too bad he was such a good hard worker. No, if you're not careful, they'll say, too bad he was so lazy. He could have been so much more. Hard work will leave a grand legacy. Give it your all on your trip around the earth, my friend. You'll do a lot of good and leave a terrific legacy. Number 8, don't give up when you fail. Imagine what legacies would have never existed if someone had given up. How many thriving businesses would have been shut down if they had quit at their first failure? Everyone fails. It's a fact of life. But those who succeed are those who do not give up when they fail. They keep going. They build a successful life and a legacy. Please don't ever stop in your pursuit of a legacy. Many people have accomplished tremendous things later on in life. There's never a time to stop in your pursuit of a legacy. Sometimes older people will say, well, I'm 65, I'll never change. By the way, that's not old. That won't help build a great life if that's your attitude. No, there's always time to do more and achieve more, to help more and serve more, to teach more and learn more. Listeners, please keep going and growing that legacy. Because these core principles to live by, well, that will help you be the person who leaves a legacy. Let me go through them real quick one more time. 1, life is best lived in service to others. 2, consider others' interests as important as your own. 3, love your neighbor, even if you don't like them. 4. Maintain integrity at all cost. 5. You must risk in order to gain. 6. You reap what you sow. 7. Hard work is never a waste. 8. Don't give up when you fail. And 9. Don't ever stop in your pursuit of a legacy. I'm Deb Sofield. This was an article I got from one of my heroes, Jim Rohn, and I really wanted to share that with you today. I have a quote from Ray Bradbury that I really like. Let me share before we go to the break. Everyone must leave something behind when he dies, my grandfather said. A child, or a book, or a painting, or a house, or a wall built, or a pair of shoes made, or a garden planted. Something your hand touched some way so your soul has somewhere to go when you die. And when people look at that tree or that flower you planted, you're there. It doesn't matter what you do, he said. As long as you change something from the way it was before you touched it into something that's like you after you take your hands away. The difference between the man who cuts the lawn and a real gardener is in the touching, he said. The lawn cutter might just as well not have been there at all. The gardener will be there for a lifetime. And let me end with this quote from Og Mandino. I'm convinced that the greatest legacy we can leave our children are happy memories. Those precious moments so much are like pebbles on a beach that are plucked from the white sand and placed in tiny boxes that lay undisturbed on a tall shelf until one day they spill out and time repeats itself with joy and sweet sadness and the child that is now an adult. My theme today is pretty simple, but it's one I think we should all consider, and that's, friend, are you leaving a legacy? And I've titled it, Oh, to be Remembered. I'm Deb Sofield. This is Encouragement for Your Life. Let's take a quick break. I'll come right back with some ways in how we can leave a legacy. Hi, I'm Deb Sofield. If you've ever needed help crafting a presentation for your job or your company, I can help. In today's world, you know how important it is to be able to speak and present well. I'm a national speaker and an executive speech and corporate presentations coach. I can help you craft your message for your success. I'd like to be on your team. I'd like to be your coach. Contact me through my website, debsofield.com. Welcome back, everybody. I've got a great article by Lydia Kursova, and I've used this before, at least I've used the website before, called Let's Reach Success. And she's written 10 ways to leave a legacy and make it a great one. Please know I've edited this. So the headline is, what will happen if you're gone tomorrow? How will people remember you? And will they remember you at all? In other words, how to leave a legacy so you can be remembered. Have to admit those questions are scary, I know, and we avoid them as much as we can. Actually, most people ask themselves only once in a lifetime, and it's often when it's too late to do anything about it and make the change. So many people come to the conclusion that there's nothing left after all the years they've spent here, and, more sadly, it's like they never lived. What they do as a result of that enlightenment is to spend their last years in regret and disappointment. Now, I know that's too negative for most of us to think about, but putting these questions earlier will remind everyone of how precious each day really is, how easy it is to forget to live for others and do things for them. I believe it will help us realize that we need to make our own life meaningful, and we can still live life to the fullest throughout the process of leaving a lasting legacy. It's amazing to enjoy life and try everything you want, but it won't hurt if you start contributing earlier so that when you turn back, you'll be able to see what you've done and what you've done that matters. This also helps prevent us from feeling the deepest regret and desperation once we realize we've done nothing for so many years. That would be a terrible feeling. It's one thing to improve yourself daily, to be grateful, happy, and live for the moment. But it's completely another to make all that with a purpose, meaning, and desire to make the world a better place. To be remembered to have lived with a mission, and not to have wasted your limited time on earth, that is what leaving a legacy is all about. Now, it's important you do it without that egotistical intention everybody seems to have these days. Just look at social media. Just for the idea of being remembered, not to feel guilty about anything when you're older or even now. It must be done for others so that after you're staying here, you will have left a positive influence on people. You will have helped, inspired, contributed, and changed lives. The author says, I don't believe that we're on this planet just to live unconsciously day after day, to consume, earn, and spend money, do our daily routines, have jobs we don't like, stay at home, deal with small personal dilemmas, and so on. But there are so many distractions to keep us focused on all that, to entertain us and prevent us from seeing the bigger pictures. Corporations have done their job well and made us strive for, in a sense, mediocrity, fight with each other. They also give us money to play with, alcohol, drugs to get addicted to, enough work, events, commitments to keep us busy and make us feel like we're in control. This is easier than ever before to spend a lifetime without seeing the true meaning of life, without asking yourself questions beyond the average, without awakening and speaking up. If you've looked deep inside yourself and are curious about the direction you're headed, then there's a few things you can do to leave a lasting legacy. There are other ways for your legacy to look like, and a way to make everything you've done matter. So she goes on to say, here's how you leave a legacy. For most of us, we should contribute beyond ourselves. Find and take part in activities connected with making the world a better place to live. The point is to make your life for something more than yourself. This way your actions will speak for you long after you're gone. Another way is to create. If you can write, friend, write. If you love to sing, then sing. If you feel like drawing, draw, design, build, create what you can, and convey your message and legacy through your art. 3, be a role model. A great way to leave a legacy is to be a good role model for everyone around you. Not only for your kids, but your friends, your acquaintances, and even people you've recently met. Behave as if you think everyone should. Be good. Do great things with your own life, and teach others to do good also. Grow spiritually, and set a good example for the next generation. Her 4th point is raise your children well. Often the only legacy people leave is their children. But if you didn't make them honorable people who are willing to help others and have morals, friend, you haven't done your job well. So do your best to teach them everything they need to know to become successful in life and leadership. Love. Loving every human being and showing it will create a peaceful world. Express your love on a daily basis to your family and friends, and treat with love even strangers or those who aren't good to you. By doing this, you make them believe they are worth it. You remind them that we are all in this together, the good and the bad. And soon, I believe they will share this newfound feeling of actually being loved with others. Her next point is you got to give. That really is the ultimate law of the universe and of one another. And that is probably the best way to leave a legacy. No matter what the situation is or the person in front of you, be ready to give them what you have, to share what's been given to you. Go beyond your natural, egotistical, and selfish nature. Our friend, give. Some of you can give money or donate, advice, help, time, effort. Whatever it is that you can give it all. And don't expect anything in return. Give. And when you least expect it, I truly believe it will come back upon you. Number 7, do good. Good deeds are always remembered. Let yours show other people that we can all do something nice today and make somebody feel good. Make them happy. Make them feel valued. You can smile at strangers. I do that all the time. Help when you can, make compromise, be kind to people. Seriously, be kind. You have no idea what people are going through. Okay, a little editorial there. All right, things like that. Just being kind can help someone's day. And you know what? It didn't cost you anything. It didn't cost you anything. Be kind. Kindness is a universal language that can make everyone smile and forget their problems for a few minutes. Think of some random acts of kindness that you can do today that will make a big difference for tomorrow. Number 8, a friend inspire. If you found your passion, have what you want, achieve some of your goals, and are content and happy, don't forget to stop every now and then and share your secrets with others. Today, people need to be reminded of their potential and all the possibilities around them, really more than ever. So share with them your steps, what you did to get where you are. Give advice, motivate, make them believe in themselves and find a direction. That is a great way to be remembered as the inspiring person who helped at least a few people find their place in this world. Number 9, volunteer if you can. Of course, this is beneficial to your mental health, society, the community, and the world in general. There are lots of ways to do it. Just whatever you do, go do something for others. And don't charge them. Search for organizations that you are interested in. Join. Give your time, your skills, your energy. Help your neighbor, the environment, plants, the poor, and the disabled. You will feel amazing after doing it for some time. It's proven that it affects your confidence, physical health, happiness, social skills, and when you give to others by volunteering, they say it lowers depression, and the good news is you're going to meet some new amazing people. Even if you do it from your home, there are many options. Friend, do what works best for you, but whatever you do, please volunteer and contribute. Her next point is make a family history. Some of you would have a ball if you took the time to research your ancestors and made a family tree, including photos. Write a book about your history. Make sure it's in your will. Put your words and your histories into a journal or simply letters for others to read. There are a lot of ways to help your family be remembered, and you'll leave a legacy if you do it every day. Here's the key. Make your life meaningful and let your actions help and inspire others. Friend, that's how you leave a legacy. I gotta tell you, I really like that article. It was from a website that I've seen called Let's Reach Success. And I think that's important that we consider today how we leave our legacy for tomorrow. Let me close out today's show with another quick thought from my hero, Jim Rohn. He says this: how we live our lives is critically important. And Jim and I want to challenge you to take a look on how you live. I want to challenge you to think deeply about areas in your life where you could and should be leaving a legacy. And here's some reasons why. Number 1, it is part of the ongoing foundation of life. Those who came before us in the world we live in, those who will come after will only have what we leave them. We are stewards of this world. We have a calling on our lives to leave it better than how we found it, even if it seems like a small part. 2, leaving a legacy has the raw power for good and for bad. There are people who've changed the world for good, people who have opened up new worlds for millions of others, people who have spurred others on to new heights. And there are those who've caused destruction, those who leave a wake of pain behind them wherever they are. Whatever you do, it affects others, friends. Our lives have the power to create good or spread evil. It's important you choose good. It's also an act of responsibility to leave a legacy. Because of the power of our lives, the legacies we leave, it is actually a responsibility to leave a positive legacy. All good men and women must take responsibility to create legacies that'll take the next generation to a level we could only imagine. 4, it breaks down the downward pull of selfishness that's really inherent in all of us. When we strive to leave a legacy, we are acting with selflessness that can benefit others. Think about it. We won't be around to see our legacy. To build that will last beyond us is selfless, and living with that in mind, it breaks the power of selfishness that's really ingrained in all of us. And probably the most important, it keeps us focused on the big picture. Reflect on how you're going to use the lessons, information, and skills from those who went before to build a life that leaves a legacy long after we're gone. That was from Jim Rohn. I got to tell you, I just love this message today. I think it's important you and I think about the legacy that we're leaving. Our friend, let's make it a good one. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. I'm Deb Sofield. You've been listening to Encouragement for Your Life. Friend, I want to encourage you to leave a legacy you'll be proud of. I hope you'll join me next week, same time, same place, for Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Life. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.